There was a book series as a kid that, the Scholastic Book Fair when they come to
Yeah.
schools.
Oh yeah.
So there's an author named Dan Gutman that did a book on the Honus Wagner card.
Okay.
And it was like this whole like time travel story about a kid going back and meeting him and saving the card being made and all that. So that was my favorite book. That got me into like the dive of like trying to collect vintage a little bit and just the love of baseball in general.
Hello everybody, this is Scott Robertson, Dallas Card Show, and I'm here with Bryant Guilmette from Tampa Sports Cards. As a shop in Tampa, has been coming to the show for a while here in Dallas, and just wanted to talk to you about how your show is. Okay.
I guess since 5 all the way to now, we've
So 5 years old, and see that's incredible because that's what I see, and that's what I love about the show is that I love shows because I feel like the grandfather, the dad, the granddaughter. I mean, I see that. I see the daughters. So there's a guy that brings his daughter up, and they write a little article, but they have fun together, and it's like he's teaching the kids. It sounds like you was taught business from the time you was 5 years old, maybe, or maybe it just got into your head as like, hey, I can make some money off of this at some point.
Yeah, and it was always about collecting the rookie card and like it was chasing, that next year's rookie for, until I was at least in high school, and it slowed up for a little bit when you go to college and life happens, but
yeah,
then it always cycles back though.
Find out about girls. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at 5 years old, so you was going. So Boston has some great shows. I mean, I know that I've been to the Boston show up there. And it's an old. The one I went to was an old gym, and they pulled everything out. They had that thing full, and it was like there were some incredible cards up there. It's just like especially vintage.
Yeah.
So is that how you got interested in vintage, or is it from your grandfather, or was it?
My grandfather and my dad.
Okay.
My dad was a big Yaz collector. He had all the Yaz cards. Carlton Fisk. He has like the story like his mom threw his Carlton Fisk rookie card as a kid. So when I was a kid, I'm born the same day as Carlton Fisk. I always collected him.
Nice.
Just always. The Red Sox were so like, they didn't win until I was in high school. Like, I was like the 86-year curse thing.
Yes.
So all I had to fall back on was like the legends that never won.
Right.
And
right.
it was like, all right, well, I always wanted a 68 Yaz for the Impossible Dream year.
Yes.
Always wanted the 75 Fisk from when they lost that World Series. So,
right.
I always collected each legendary player in the organization.
Uh-huh.
And like that organization's just built on so much history that was kind of the way we went at it.
Yes, it is too. That's lucky that I grew up with the Rangers, so it's like we had like a minor league ballpark. It's like you have a whole different experience with that. And was you a catcher?
I was actually a pitcher.
A pitcher, okay.
Yeah.
Not after Fisk, then it was after Clemens. You was watching Ryder Clemens.
Yeah, him and Bruce Hurst.
Okay.
But yeah, I was collected them. I mean, John Lester is like my biggest PC. So.
Okay, nice. John
Lester.
Oh, John Lester. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is he your biggest PC?
I saw one of his first games. I went to his first game back from cancer. Just like the whole career of like the never quit attitude always had me collecting them. So.
Wow, that's
okay. A couple World Series, Boston, one in Chicago. So
that's special. Yeah, that's I collected Bubby Bell when I was a kid, so that was mine. So it's like nobody's ever heard of him. Well, his whole family played, but so you started when you was 5. You sort of got out of it when you was in college, and then when did you get back into it and open your shop?
I still collected in college. I just couldn't do as much.
Uh-huh.
But the shop we opened 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Anna and I had done sales, and I did sales for probably 6 years, and
yeah, didn't
really like it, but I was good at it.
Yeah.
COVID hit, had time, couldn't really do outside sales during COVID, so Anna and my brother, my family kind of pushed me. They're like, "Why don't you try to do the card thing full time?" They're like, you've done it on the side, you've done eBay on the side for at that point probably 6-7 years,
right?
And just kind of dove in. And all of a sudden we started doing all these shows, and then built it into, I've always wanted to own a card shop. I basically always was begging to go to them as a kid. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why not build the environment you really wanted to be in anyway?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So whatever you decided when you was a kid, that's your grown up responsibility. So, but
Yeah.
you got out of college and had real responsibilities where you did sales.
Yeah.
It just fell right in. I mean, it's incredible. I hear that story a lot. I mean, especially COVID did. So whenever we was like in the 90s, 2000, is like, we didn't think it's like, when I started shows in 2008, it's like, it's like, man, it's going to be hard to get people off of eBay and actually to come out. So basically, whenever you got back into collecting, you started opening the shop and stuff, everything had sort of flown, or was you there before 2019? Or was you doing cards before 2019?
I was doing cards on the side.
Okay.
I was buying and selling. I was prospecting baseball, a little bit of football. Didn't really do much modern basketball at all. But I do a ton of fantasy baseball, so I've always been like the guy that's like looking at the top 100 prospect list and trying to stay 3 years ahead of the curve, that type of thing.
2008, so there weren't any card shows in Dallas. Really. There was like little bitty tiny ones, and the guy that had it, he would if he had enough, he'd try to borrow money for it anyway. So he was doing them and canceling them last minute. So it's just like, okay, well, heck with this. So I started with 8 tables, and after a few years, it's like, well, I changed jobs to a new job, and it's like, okay, you got to get the card shows for a short period of time. So I did that for 2 years, and it's just like I can't stand it anymore. So it's like that's what I loved, and like I say, I understand it's almost like a treasure hunt. Sometimes is what I feel like. It's like I love the treasure. I think a lot of people love the treasure, but it's also the feeling whenever you sell Tom Brady 2015 National Treasures and you bought it for this price, and then all of a sudden it went up to this price. I'm sure you see that. And whoever sold it to you, or if you opened it from a pack or whatever, you probably understand the I don't know, endorphin release, whatever it is. But the Tom Brady, I mean, that's how did that come into your shop?
I actually bought that at a shop in Orlando.
Okay.
About 3 years prior.
Oh, you bought it at the right time.
Yeah. A lot of my Brady stuff. I'm a big Patriots guy, so I bought a lot of it real early. Like I have a 2000 Bowman Chrome Brady that we 10. It came back to PSA 10.
Right.
And I think I had like $1 into the card. I bought it back in 2000 when he was a rookie, and he played like his second game and beat the Saints. And I was like, we should probably pick up a few of these. I just bought every Patriots rookie back then. So
my God,
that's kind of got lucky.
That is lucky. It's like, and that thing wasn't worth it. I mean, I think people were pulling out of dollar bins and stuff like that back in 2000. Well, nobody knew he was going to start. Nobody knew who he was. Even the NFL didn't, or he wouldn't have been a late draft pick.
Yeah, I think the only people that collected them were Michigan fans.
That's it. Like Patrick Mahomes, man. There's so many people that make money off Patrick Mahomes because they were Texas Tech homers, and they're just like, oh man, I'm gonna buy all the cards of this, and it's like, man, how lucky is that? It's like, and then all of a sudden everything hit the Super Bowls. It's like, we just need to figure out who the next Patrick Mahomes is. Yeah. Tom Brady, whoever it is. I mean, there's, and it's not easy. It's not easy. There's more. Dante Culpepper's.
There's a lot of misses in between.
There is too. It is too. It's like that's fun, and sometimes you get some collection that comes on the back end, and we will be able to find some cards that are actually Jack Flacco. He's all of a sudden starting now. He won't. I don't think he'll do it, but who knows? If he win a Super Bowl, then how many would that make? 2 or 3? Two. Okay, so
probably 10 years apart though. That's kind of insane.
That would be crazy. Yeah. And I can't imagine that happening, but if it does, they heard it here first, right? So it's like, I was watching that on Sports Center today. But it's amazing, and I'm sure somebody somewhere, I probably had Joe Flacco sitting in my storage building. I mean, as you can imagine, so when I was doing those little shows, I was also buying collections off Craigslist, because at that time, that's where the deals were. People were just like unloading stuff on Craigslist. Put a buying ad on there. People would call, and at that time, you couldn't get rid of cards. And so eBay, I don't think eBay in the early 2000s was as easy to use, and now all of a sudden it's become really pretty fluid. And so it's like anybody can use it, but there would be collections that would come out that are outstanding.
Market, Whatnot has been huge for it.
Yes, yeah. Tell me about Whatnot. So do you guys do a lot of Whatnot?
Not directly us. We do a lot through like our buddy KK Sports Cards.
Yes, okay.
So he's probably, if not the biggest, one of the bigger whatnot accounts. So everybody in the area is either consigning stuff there. So the turnover of singles, like we can't keep singles around in the store.
Wow, nice.
So everybody's a streamer. Everybody either streams through him or has their own channel, and we're just constantly supplying singles. So the amount of collections we're buying on a daily basis. We had about 500 square foot showroom. Now it's 1,500 square foot showroom. So
Nice.
grown it over 3 years, and we have a great community, great customer base, and the Tampa market's consistent. Like there's a lot of local shows there that keep it afloat. And, it's a very active market. Whatnot has been huge for it.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatnot has been huge for it.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me about Whatnot. So do you guys do a lot of Whatnot?
Not directly us. We do a lot through like our buddy KK Sports Cards.
Yes, okay.
So he's probably, if not the biggest, one of the bigger whatnot accounts. So everybody in the area is either consigning stuff there. So the turnover of singles, like we can't keep singles around in the store.
Wow, nice.
So everybody's a streamer. Everybody either streams through him or has their own channel, and we're just constantly supplying singles. So the amount of collections we're buying on a daily basis.
Tell me the address of your shop again.
It's 15939 North Florida Avenue in Lutz, Florida.
Okay, and that's how far from Tampa?
We're a half mile from being in Tampa directly, but
okay, all right.
On Instagram it's Tampa Card Shop at tampacardshop.com, and we're always open. So I think it's going to a lot of long-term buyers again. I think the whole short-term flip right now, people are, I don't want to say losing money, but the people that bought football 6 weeks ago are definitely lost some here and there.
Yes.
I think you're seeing a lot of guys buy baseball for the 12-month cycle of trying to hit that next prospect, or they're buying football for next year already. So I think there's a lot of short, long-term plays being made. I've noticed this show. It felt like for like the last year, this show there was a ton of repackers, and that's all people were focused on.
Yep.
This show went back to the public really spending a lot of money.
Okay.
Like this specific show, I can tell you we sold a lot more to the public directly rather than dealer to dealer for the last couple.
That's good. When you come here, I think people adapt. I think the people that are really good at this right here, they come and they say, "Hey, I'm either going to buy or I'm going to sell or I'm going to trade." It's like, and that's the beauty of, like I'm sure you guys get worn out by the end of the weekend, the trade night, because I see you guys out there at trade night every time, right? And you're out there doing your time, and so it's like if stuff's selling too cheap, you don't sell, you go buy, and if it's selling too high, then you sell. It happens like that, and the smart people, they follow that market. My opinion is, what do you think about like the overseas markets? And I'll give you a little bit of running a little bit into this, but I believe that the overseas markets are increasing a little bit at a time, but there's such a massive, like the largest distributor in China, the card hobby, they're hanging their banner, they're giving free packs here at this show here, and so it's like when I see that there's money that's being put in overseas, and I hear about the shows and everything that's coming overseas, and it's so whenever I'm talking about supply and demand, what do you think that's going to have anything to do with demand on the older cards? Do you think that'll ever catch up with it?
I think the key vintage cards, I think that definitely can. It's funny, Anna always tells me every year. And it's stuck with me now. She came up with this theory probably 4 years ago, and it was just we were talking with a group of friends, and it makes sense. It's like every year somebody vintage-wise becomes irrelevant, right?
Okay.
So like, obviously you've got your Mantle, Mays, Aaron,
Staples.
Your Staples. But like Harmon Killebrew is, I don't want to say irrelevant, but he kind of is to the ultra-modern collector right now.
Absolutely.
Most of them have no idea who the guy is.
Right.
Like, even Carlton Fisk, like, most of them probably have no clue who he is. So, like, these guys, every year, obviously, we got another year added to the vintage cycle.
Yes.
But in a way, someone kind of goes into that like, oh yeah, he was great, but he just doesn't sell anymore status.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think the staples will get picked up overseas because, like, I can tell you Anna obviously does a ton of soccer.
Mm-hmm.
The vintage soccer, there's like 3 names that matter, and then it's like, oh yeah, he was a great player, but he just didn't play for the right team, so he doesn't sell.
Tattoo.
So, huh?
Tattoo. Who are the 3?
I mean Pele, Maradona, what's his name, George Best.
Okay, those are the guys that you sell a lot of. Tattoo, obviously, it's like that's a small MLS indoor soccer league here in Dallas. But those are the guys, of course, you sell Messi and those sell huge, don't they?
Yeah. But they're active though, so they're But like active wise, right? If you got Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland, fast forward 30 years, it's like who still sells? Obviously, it's probably going to be Messi and Ronaldo.
Yes.
But does Mbappe and Haaland continue to be that next staple for soccer?
That's the gamble.
Yeah, in soccer and baseball, so many parallels. Like, we think prospecting in baseball is huge. Prospecting in soccer is even bigger. Like, they're getting out these kids when they're like 16.
Yes, yeah, that's
like the kid Yamal that's selling right now. Who knows? Like, we could go 4 years. He's 20. He might be a nobody. He might be top 10 all time already. Like,
yes, well, that's the thrill of it. It's like going in there and actually following that athlete and actually see if where they're going to go in. So I agree with that. And I also think that soccer is a worldwide sport too. It's like I also think people will be looking for tangible assets to invest in, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Like Killebrew rookie maybe, but just because he's a select Hall of Famer, I mean you got to remember that there's 300 million people in the United States and there's billions out there, in the world. It's like you don't have to have that big of a population. So whenever I see those cards come up, I buy them if they're cheap, and I sell. Like I say, I just do what I told you. It's like I sell whenever they're high. So it's Nolan Ryan rookies. I've seen the Nolan Ryan rookies. Whenever eBay came out, they all just got dumped on eBay, and then all of a sudden they went from 2,000 to 200. And now all of a sudden that supply is actually being absorbed. And so, and a lot of it's because guys like me, when they're $200, it's like, I'm a buyer, right? It's like but we get them signed, so that makes it a little different too. We send them through the mail. So it's like little tips like that. It's like, I think that a lot of people don't even think about the mail order anymore. That's old timey.
Yeah.
But these players are still signing through that.
Oh, a lot of guys still do it.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say at this show that I've noticed the last probably year now.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of Jordan autos. You don't see a lot of Brady autos. All the guys, like a lot of that stuff is actually going overseas, like you were saying.
That's what I think.
And like, it's funny, the first few Dallas shows, they'd be like, I'd have a customer be like, hey, can you find me a Jordan auto? I'd be like, yeah, I'm about to see a few hundred of them.
Yeah.
Now there's probably 30 of them in the room. And every one of these that happens, it cuts down 1 or 2.
Yes.
And, especially in a Bulls jersey, you just don't see them anymore. Like,
no, you don't. Yeah, it's
like for a guy that's signed for 20 years, like his stuff just every show it's getting smaller and harder to find the stuff.
So Brian, going forward, the new kids that are coming in the hobby, the new people, the grandfathers and everything coming back to the hobby, what advice would you give them going forward, and how you would start off collecting?
And like starting from ground zero, basically.
Yeah, sort of like how it's like there's a few ways to look at it. It's like you can look at, okay, I'm collecting to share time with my kid. I'm collecting to put a set together. I'm looking, but really what I'm interested in is the investment opportunity and sort of how because I feel like that's the long-term collector. It's like those guys are the ones that get into it like you did, and you were buying and selling and flipping. So I mean, so going forward on the new kids, I mean, how would you tell those guys, with the parents that are trying to come into it with them and the grandfathers, how would you tell them to stay? What's a long-term solution into the hobby and to where they're not losing a bunch of money on the side? What would your suggestions be for these kids?
I would say, one, buy what you like.
Yeah.
Have a favorite. Like, there's a lot of, in a world that players change more than they did when we were kids, obviously. It's tough now because loyalty in sports is tough. But collect a player you like or a team you like. Start your collection that way, and don't make it about the money at first, obviously. And stay with the rookie cards. Like, if a player really hits the rookie cards, don't go out of style. There's a lot of money being dumped into autographs of guys.
Yeah.
And don't be wrong, I'm guilty of it. I'll buy autographs of guys, and it's like, it's cool and all, but like, if they go down the wrong path, that's the first stuff that goes down. The key rookie cards, they're set collectors still. They're still sought after, regardless of, like right now, you're not seeing much Josh Allen on the floor.
Right.
Because his year wasn't printed that much.
Right.
You're not seeing as many Joe Burrow rookies as you did three years ago here. So It's like the rookie cards do dry up. Those are the first things that end up in collections for a long period of time. So I would say, to get off that ground floor in terms of collecting and turning them into investments, stick with the rookie cards. Don't over leverage any money.
True. Yeah.
And just collect the guys that are consistent. Like, you can't really lose money buying like Brady, Manning, Reeves right now. Like,
Right. Yeah.
But you can definitely lose money buying Richardson, Bryce Young, and Will Levis.
That's right. You can make a lot of money too. It's like, it depends on which way you go. That's a good point. Stay within your range, and so know what you're doing. I love what you did with the players. You knew the players were coming because of fantasy baseball, and so it sounds like that's a good model for what you actually achieved and are continuing to achieve. So yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out, and it's a pleasure to have you all out every time. And again, Tampa Card. If you're in Tampa, you go to TampaCardShop.com.
Yep.
And then you come out and see them. Come out and meet Brian, or either come out to the show here at Dallas Card Show and meet him. Okay. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I'll see you in January.
All right. Yes.